Hello there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Let me ask you, have you ever had someone yell at you? Maybe because they wanted you to do something, or you had done something and you didn't do it well, like your boss, for instance, your manager, your supervisor, and when they yelled at you, you found you got more confused than, maybe you were not even confused, but when they yelled at you, you were not even sure what to do and how to go about it. And maybe you've had to work under somebody that persistently is yelling, or you are someone that yells a lot. Today I'm going to be talking about a very important topic that affects countless workplaces around the world. And that is the issue of leaders or bosses resorting to yelling as a leadership strategy. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you why yelling is fundamentally flawed. It is not something that, it is not even acceptable in a workplace. So we're going to be looking at reasons why people yell, and I'm going to help you with tips if you find yourself as a leader, as a boss. Definitely today you need to understand that yelling is not a strategy. Shouting, screaming your head off at people is not a leadership strategy. So stay with me and you'll find out tips that will help you in this area. So let's go. So first of all, I want to just talk to you about the disadvantages of yelling. Sharing the disadvantages of yelling so you know the importance why you should not yell. So the first thing it does is that it decreases morale of your staff in the workplace. So when you have a boss that is persistently yelling, what happens is that people get demoralized. People, in fact, people want to avoid that boss. People are afraid to even walk up to you, to ask you questions, to get clarity, to get a clarification. And you know, with time, they just lose interest because it's like, whatever I do, this person is just going to shout. And then secondly, it reduces productivity because employees become stressed. They become stressed and, you know, they begin to feel discouraged and, you know, just feeling bad. They feel bad because they're human beings. When you're yelling at someone, you know, the person's ego, the person's self-esteem and all of that is affected. Then the next thing it does is that it hinders problem solving, because if you yell a lot, people are not going to approach you when there are problems, because the likely thing you're going to do is start yelling because there's a problem. And so what happens is that things keep festering, problems keep going underground, and then it discourages, you know, open and constructive conversations and solutions, you know, making it difficult for you to address issues effectively in the workplace. So why do some bosses yell? Why do some bosses yell? The first thing I would say is stress and pressure. Now, usually a boss feels the pressure, maybe if there are challenges, there are targets to meet, there are issues, maybe sales are going down, you're losing clients, or reports are not ready on time, whatever it is, usually you find the boss is under a lot of pressure to deliver, to get the results, to make sure that you're earning money, to make sure that everything is going well. So if that overwhelm and, you know, just that feeling of overwhelm because of pressure of work comes or happens, what usually for a lot of people that don't know how to handle that well, they resort to yelling. So they just become like a spark plug, anything little, you know. So it's like transferred aggression, like some people say. It may not really be about that person, it may not really, it's just that they're perpetually stressed. And then another thing is lack of communication skills. So when someone doesn't have effective communication skills, they don't know how to talk and how to control or speak, they tend to yell a lot. So it's important that for every leader needs to communicate or develop effective communication skill. Someone said that when it's important to be able to communicate well, because when you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. Another thing is control issues. Yelling can be an attempt to exert control. So this usually happens, or to dominate the workplace. I want to show I'm the boss, I'm the most powerful person, so I can yell and nothing happens. So there's a control issue, and that shouldn't be. If you're the boss, you're the boss. And there's so many in different videos. I'm going to be talking to you about other leadership skills to help you become a leader, because like I tell everyone, whether you're at entry level, whether you're mid-level, whether you're management, you're an executive, whatever, we all need leadership skills, because at every point in our lives we're leading people, and you don't wait to be given a title or a position before you learn to lead. No, you should be a leader ahead. You should have all the leadership skills and be able to lead, so that when the opportunities come, your leadership is not, just on the basis of a position or a title. So control issues is another one. Then habitual behavior. So for some people, yelling just, I remember listening to someone, and he was like, his wife and children would always tell him, "Daddy, you're yelling a lot, you yell a lot." And he said it's because he grew up in a home where yelling was normal. His mom was yelling at the dad was yelling at the mom, the parents were yelling at the children were yelling at each other. So it was just for him. And when they say, "You're shouting, Daddy, you're shouting," and he would be like, "I'm not shouting, I'm just talking," because that was his normal. So for some people it's habitual. And then for some people also it's insecurity and lack of confidence. So some people are insecure in their roles as leaders, either because maybe you're new on the job, or you feel threatened by a subordinate that seems, or you think knows more than you, or it seems more acceptable, or by the people love that person more, or is more friendly, more outgoing, is more of a people person. Maybe just something that just puts you or makes you feel, insecure. And so to cover your insecurity, you begin to shout and begin to show off power and all of that. But the truth is that people see through all that. People see through all that. So, and that's the reason why you need, if you're a yelling boss, you need to, listen to this video over and over and do something. I've been there also, particularly because of pressure. Sometimes we just go off the handle because of pressure. And you need to keep reminding yourself. The fact that you watch this video and you try to doesn't mean that it may just go away, but try to work on it and hold yourself accountable, or get people that can hold you accountable. So now the negative effects of yelling. So let's look at some of the negative effects of yelling in the workplace and what it does. So it increases stress. It increases your own stress. It increases the stress of employees, because their experiences, or their stress levels are heightened. Because, if you're sharp, the likelihood, have you ever seen a situation where one supervisor yells at another, this other one goes back to yell at the other one. So there's just like it just passes down, and then everybody is stressed and everybody is tense and everybody is trying to work, but there's so much stress and tension, and then high turnover. So when you yell a lot, what happens is that people leave, because like I said earlier, people have their own dignity. They're human beings. So even if I work for you, or if I'm your subordinate, doesn't mean you can yell at me or speak to me anyhow, or just talk to me in the presence of people. What happens if those people have opportunities or have a choice? They will leave, and then you now have a high number of turnover. People keep leaving your organization and all of that. And then it creates a culture of fear also, a culture of fear, and it stifles creativity and innovation. So when people are afraid, they're not being creative, they're not being innovative, and then, it damages your reputation. So it damages your reputation. Leaders who yell risk, damaging their own reputation and that of their organization. So don't get to a point where people know you as that, and people may appear to respect you. Have you ever seen situations where people hold offices and people defer to them and people are running all around them, And the moment they're out of that office, some people cannot even come back to that place again. Some people, cannot, you just see people just do, they just respect you because they have to. So don't ever allow your situation to get to that. Now, communicating without yelling. So how do you communicate without yelling? So the first thing you need to do is stay calm. Maintain your composure regardless of the situation. Even when there are challenging situations, you need to teach yourself how to, if you need to count, if you need to, you just find something you can do, remind yourself so that whatever the situation, because you see, look back at all the situations that have happened that looked like, the heavens were falling. And you find that you got through it. It passed. It was an event. No matter how challenging, somehow yourself and your team, you got through that. So always remind yourself and remain, because when you're calm, you can even think through better. Active listening. So encourage open dialogue when there are problems, when there are challenges and all of that, and be open to listen to what other people have to say. Ensure you also get constructive feedback. So provide a feedback mechanism, in your place of work, so that it enables your people to give you feedback when there are issues or when there are situations. And when things happen, you don't just fly off the handle. You have a feedback mechanism, and you have a process. And you and every other person knows that this is what happens. Just like when there's a fire or there's an emergency, usually this is what to do, this is what to do. So to have something like that could keep you in check. Then set clear expectations. So ensure everybody knows what to do. Everybody is clear on their role and their responsibility. Don't leave anything to assumption. Sometimes you're yelling at people because the truth is that they were not even clear. They didn't have clear instructions as to what to do or how to carry out a particular assignment, or the defined definition of their roles and where it stops and where another person starts and all of that. So you need to be clear. And then conflict resolution. Address conflicts promptly and professionally. So I did a video on handling difficult conversations in the workplace. You may want to look at that video, and that would help you in conflict resolution. So ensure that things are addressed promptly and professionally. And then lead by example. So that is just the best thing. To be a leader it means that you're somebody that goes that way ahead of others, does the right thing, and people can look up to you and say, okay, this person is actually behaving well, is doing the right thing, is not yelling, and everybody, takes after you, follows after your footsteps. So their leader, their boss. I hope this video has helped you today to know that you do not need to yell. Another thing you need to do is that you need to lead with empathy. You need to put yourself in the place of some of your subordinates, some of your team members and your employees. So, when you lead with empathy, it reduces the yelling. Just remember you were once there and all of that, and then seek help if needed. So there are people that have, I've come across people that the yelling is an issue. For most bosses, they yell on and off. Other times they're friendly, they're nice and all that. But there's some bosses that, my goodness, is a problem. So if you need help, please seek professional help, or wherever you can find help. Apologize when necessary. Never be too big, even though you're the boss. If you yelled at somebody inappropriately, or yelling is inappropriate, please don't hesitate to say, I am sorry. Then be consistent. Model consistency in your behavior, and so that you will. So whatever you expect from your team, model it so they see it in you, and it becomes easy, because a lot of leaders also are yelling at people for not doing certain things while they are not doing those things. And also you need to invest in building your communication skills. Invest in building your communication skills. So, in conclusion, I hope that you have learned some effective leadership skills, that would help you not to yell, regardless of the situation, not to yell as a leader. So if you're a leader that has been yelling at people, I hope that after watching this video, you're going to stop yelling and your people are going to say, oh, my boss has actually changed and is a more friendly person. And you will just watch and see how the whole atmosphere in your workplace will change. And I believe you'll be able to achieve more and do more. Thank you for being with me today. I believe if this video has helped you, please give it a thumbs up, share with somebody else, and remember to subscribe to this channel if you have not done so before. Thank you for being with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.